This movie was a menace to society. This movie needs to be banned in all 200 something countries, period. It was a waste of film, waste of my time, it was a waste of my eyesight.
Hanging on, but something brings me back to you. Back to you, back to you.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joy Lamons. On my channel we talk about whatever I want to talk about, whenever I want to talk about it. Today what I want to talk about is that flaming hot garbage of a movie, 50 Shades of Grey. Make sure you check out my last video where I talked about them raggedy dating apps, and also the one before it where I talked about what it was like to be a sugar baby for a week. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this. For the purpose of this channel, in order to have content, I was like, I want to watch a movie that I wouldn't normally ever watch. And the idea to watch 50 Shades of Grey came to my mind. Now I know that was the devil. Period. 50 Shades of Grey is a blockbuster hit movie released in 2015. It's based on a best-selling novel by E.L. James. It made $560 million at the box office. And, you know, it got all the middle-aged white women in a tizzy. So the movie opens up with a cloudy gray sky, okay? And the music playing behind it was I'll Put a Spell on You. Where is that from? I'll put a spell on you. What is that from? Oh, it's from freaking Hocus Pocus, bruh. Okay, so that's why I was like, hey. Anyways, I found that weird. I was like, huh? Who's putting a spell on who and why? Then we go right into this room with this white girl who looks very basic. She getting ready and she going somewhere, okay? We don't know where she going. She goes to some huge office building. It says like Gray's something, I don't know. Whatever the name of that man business is. She goes into the elevator, goes to the front desk, lets them know, hey, I have an interview with Christian Grey, okay? She looks a mess, like her outfit is like, you know, who done it and why. So the girl we talking about name is Anastasia. She's the main character. She does an interview with Christian Grey. I'm thinking she was interviewing for a job, but this girl's actually in college. So she's interviewing Christian Grey for her college paper, her college newspaper. So she's asking him interview questions. The interview is like awkward because she like freaking wasn't asking none of the questions. She was just like staring at the paper and stuttering. Like he had to like basically take the paper and answer the questions for her, but he finds her amusing, and I guess there's like some sexual tension or whatever, chemistry popping off or whatever. We can see that she's obviously like overwhelmed by his presence, and it's like, baby girl, you okay? Freaking Anastasia is so horny in this movie. It don't make no sense. So we see Christian like looking like a little bit like intrigued and interested by her, but honestly like I can't for the life of me understand why he would be. Okay, so she goes back home, whatever. Next day or whatever other day, she's at work. She works at a hardware store. Don't ask me why, but Christian Grey shows up, okay, like out the blue. Like she's minding her business, turns around, there he is standing there. Creepy, okay? How does he know where she works? She says, oh, you know, what are you doing here? He says, oh, you know, I just happen to be in the area. We know that's a lie. We just meeting you and you already stalking us? First of all, he asked her for some weird stuff like, hey, you got tape, you got rope, you got cable ties? And she's like, what you doing with all of this stuff? He made up some answer. And then she said, you know, do you need like a work apron? He was like, nah, you know, I'm gonna do it with my clothes off. Nobody in this room needed to know about you and your nakedness. Within this scene, I realize what they're trying to do. I see they're trying to set up like this, like, you know, oh, these two are hitting it off, like chemistry is off the chart. In reality, the chemistry between these two actors, child, please. It's more chemistry between me and my eggs in the morning when I eat them for breakfast. It wasn't working for me. Somehow they end up having to meet again. I think it had something to do with the interview she had did last time. And I'm thinking to myself, Christian Grey is a billionaire. He's a huge, successful businessman. Why in the world would he be spending his time with these college students, like doing this stuff like this for free? I was so confused. Like, this is a college paper. It made no sense why he would be making time to do all of these things if he's such a huge billionaire businessman. It made no sense. So he invites her for coffee, okay? And so they go get coffee. He's just asking questions about her or whatever. He said, you know, you seem like you would like romance. And she was like, yeah, I do. And he was like, oh, so you were romantic. And she was like, I mean, yeah, I'm romantic. The word romantic barely left her lip. He took off. He got up and left. He said, oh, you know what? I gotta go. Poor girl sitting there looking like she was so lost, and so was I. So she runs up behind him and is like, hey, bro, like, you know, you just left me sitting there feeling stupid. What's up? He like grabs her face dramatically. Once again, we still don't know you. Why are you touching us? Grabs her face and says, let me read what he said. He says, I'm not the man for you, because I guess he basically saying like, you want romance and like I'm not here for that. But it's weird because it's like, bro, like who even said I wanted you, you know? Who even said we was checking for you? Like, how you gonna reject me and I didn't even offer you me? Like, it don't make no sense. Anna was pissed because, like I said, Anna's horny. That girl horny and she wanted him. You know, next couple days, Anna's horny and sad. So her friend's like, girl, let's go to the club or whatever. So they go to the club. Anna gets drunk. So she goes to the bathroom. So she's white girl wasted, okay? She decides to drunk dial Christian. He answers the phone. She's just talking, like slurring her words and stuff. And he's like, oh, you drunk? And she's like, yeah. And he basically started acting like her daddy, saying stuff like, you know, you shouldn't be drinking that much. Like, first you trying to be my boyfriend, now you trying to be my daddy? He goes to the club, right? He shows up right when Anna's friend is trying to holler at her. He like goes in and tries to kiss Anna. Christian come out of nowhere and like tackles the dude. Dramatically shoves him like out of frame. You're committing physical assault for a woman you barely know? Okay, so then Anna ends up throwing up, which is like, what? Christian takes her back to his hotel room and she spends the night there. Next morning, she wakes up and Christian's coming back in from a run or a jog or something like that. And she asks him like my clothes are different. Did you like undress me and change my clothes? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I mean, I didn't have much of a choice. What? This guy keeps getting weirder and weirder, but she's not weirded out. He takes her home and like on the way they make out in the elevator. I guess that scene's supposed to be hot. No, that night they have a date. He takes her somewhere on a helicopter. So he's flexing for real. He like, look, you know, sis, this ain't nothing for me. Once they get to this next place, he pretty much just lays it out there. I'm into BDSM. I don't make love. He's like, I F. Huh? Then he asked her about her like sexual past and she basically is like, you know, I don't have a sexual past. And he's like, you're a virgin? He loses it, y'all. Like, he gets so excited. Ew. He takes her to his room and deflowers her. So this is the first love scene, okay? Then we have Sia crooning in the background. Child, one thing about Sia, she gonna moan, honey, when she sings. After that, you know, he's like, I really want you to think about like being like my girl, but really it's called like a submissive. He's like, you know, I want you to be my submissive. He literally gave her like a stack of papers. And I'm just like, sis, girl, you better than me. I wouldn't even have took that. I'm already in school, sir, and you giving me more homework. He showed her his like BDSM room and it was like full of whips and chains. And she was just like, this looks scary. And he was like, no, man, it's fun. And she's like, what? It didn't look fun at all, bro. We're not in a room full of balloons. We're not in a room full of clowns. We're in a room full of whips. On the way back, when he's taking her home, he reveals that the reason why he got into this lifestyle is because and I need y'all to focus in on this part. His mother's friend introduced him when he was 15. His mother's friend introduced him at age 15. The man was sexually abused. How is it that like this movie came out? I never heard anyone really like hone in on that important fact. This movie is based around a traumatized man. The author, E.L. James, was real weird for that. For putting a connection between BDSM and emotional trauma and trying to basically tying them together when they're not tied together. Like, but she proceeds with their relationship anyways. Like, she actually does feel like overwhelmed by all the like stuff that he was asking of her to do. So she tries to ghost him. You would think he would just be like, you know what, this girl, she's too green. No, he finds her at her apartment and has sex with her. This is not romantic and this is not love. This is none of that. He is like not respecting what she wants. It's getting weird, guys. And she's just like, oh, Christian, like, I didn't think I'd see you here, but like, since you're here, okay, yeah, let's have sex? No! This movie's so unrealistic. He is the keynote speaker at her graduation because she's graduating. Of course, they meet up there. He takes her back to his house. They actually enter into the playroom. These love scenes, you guys, when I tell you, I really could have did without them. I really could have did without them. The reason why this movie blew up is because we don't get to see that type of stuff in movies that much, even though it's not uncommon for people to use toys and different things like in the bedroom. I really was expecting so much more from these playroom scenes. They were very tame in my opinion. They keep trying to move forward with their relationship, but Anna just ain't feeling it because Christian's getting everything he wants, but Anna's not getting what she wants. He will not let her initiate physical contact, won't sleep in the bed with her. She's getting nothing out of the relationship. So, okay, now the movie's starting to come to a close, right? There has not been a climax to the story. Like, there's been nothing significant that's taken place. It's just a bunch of random scenes with them. And I'm waiting for something to happen. And it kind of happens. He has a business phone call that was like frustrating. So he goes to her. He's like, I just want to see you in the playroom in 15 minutes. And she's like, okay. They do another playroom scene. Afterwards, he seems really down and really like in like a weird funk, sitting by himself like in the dark. And she's like, Christian, you know, what's up with you? And she really just starts asking him questions like, really, I want to know why I can't do this. I really want to know why we can't be in a relationship. I want to know why we can't go on dates. Like, he's getting like frustrated like by all the questions. And for some reason, this girl, she says, are you frustrated with me? He's like, yes. And she's like, you know what? I want to see, like, she's basically like, I can see you want to take something out on me. And I feel like I'll understand you better if I can just see exactly what it is you want to do to me. She literally says, I want to see how bad it can be. Show me the worst. So he takes her to the playroom and he whoops at her. He gets a belt and he whips her like 6 times and he makes her count. On this part, I honestly skipped over it just because it was just, to me, the movie was getting drawn out and it wasn't going anywhere. I really didn't want to see nobody get beat. I'm not looking for nobody to get no whipping. Anyway, she's pissed. So she literally, like, I think she goes to her room. She tells him to leave her alone. Next morning, she gets dressed and she leaves. She leaves, officially. He tries to follow her. She like goes like, stop or something. So that's literally the end of the movie. Let me get into my overall thoughts. It was bad storytelling. There was no journey. The characters didn't earn anything. The characters didn't learn anything. Christian Grey is a disturbing character. Very, very disturbing. I don't feel like we needed to meet Christian Grey. Guys who don't go to therapy but need it are a dime a dozen. Also, Anna's character is all over the place. It's like she doesn't know what she wants. Anna had never been intimate with a man before. And she was in college and she gave it up for him. Her character was just messy and like, we couldn't ascertain her motives for why she did what she did, for why she chose Christian. And like I previously just said, this movie was a very, very poor depiction of BDSM and kink. And the kink community, they came out and they spoke out and said, what is this? The BDSM community was literally like, my name is Bennett and I ain't in it. This movie was flaming hot garbage. This movie was a menace to society. This movie needs to be banned in all 200 something countries, period. I don't ever want to see this movie again. I'm not interested in the sequel or the third one, none of it. It was a waste of film. It was a waste of my time. It was a waste of my eyesight. I'm so upset. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you're interested in getting 2 free weeks of Skillshare, click the link in the description box. I have my SoundCloud link in the description box as well. If you're interested in my ebook about budgeting and finance, please also click the link in the description box there too. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.